Hey everybody, it's Alzay Calhoun with Coveted Consultant, and welcome to today's Facebook Live. Today we're trying a few new technical things. We've got a different little mic stand situation going on here. There's some things in the background that you can't see that hopefully will improve this experience. So we'll see. If they break, so be it. We'll fix it for the next time. It's part of what happens when you're live. But some of the stuff you just can't test until you're live. What is this group? What are we doing? What is this whole video thing about? So there's a Facebook group that is called Marketing Leaders Lab. And I created that group as a Facebook group, as a support system for people that run agencies, that sell marketing services. What I care a lot about are the systems needed to run a good business. I know that in the marketing world, there's plenty that can be discussed. There's always some hack, trick, tool, magic thing of the day. There's a lot of that. And I'm excited about switching the narrative so that you can talk about the things that actually fit into running your business, that matter most in running a good business that sells marketing services. So if that's interesting, you should be in the group. And speaking of the group, there's a technical thing I've got to do here in the background. Bear with me as I do that. Bear with me as I do. I'm live. All right, that's what happens. I'm imperfect. So that's what the group is for, right? That's what the group is for. That's why we have the group today. It's kind of interesting. Today, or a couple of days ago, I posted in the Facebook group some questions about LinkedIn, about using LinkedIn, and what your questions or concerns might be about using the tool. And a number of conversations came from that. So that's what today is going to be. But actually, before we get into LinkedIn, though, what's important to understand, especially if this is your first time watching this content, I believe that the structure of your agency boils down to three main sections: client acquisition, client service, client retention. The activities that deserve your attention fall under client acquisition, client service, client retention. And I realize that there are so many things that you could do inside your business, but that are not profitable because they don't help or facilitate one of those three things to happen or occur. So that's what I care about. That's the program that I run helps people focus on client acquisition, client retention, client acquisition, client service, client retention. And if that's a thing you want to be, if you want to help with that, if those are the systems that you're after, if those are the things you're trying to get concrete, there is a training you can watch that's somewhere attached to this video. You can click that training, watch the training, and it'll lay out this process that we use, and it will lay out how the program works, so you can decide if this program is a good fit for your particular situation. Now, I'm saying all of that, and you're watching me, look here at my screen because the technology is not doing what I want it to do. So here we are live, and I'm having to figure out some technology stuff that you can't figure it out until you test it, until you go live. So here I am. Please be patient with me, and we're going to see if we can make this work. Because for some reason, it isn't. Now, good news is right now, if you're watching the video in a replay, you can skip over this part. For those of you who are here live, you're probably not here yet because I haven't pressed a very important button, and I can't find what that button is. Not making me happy. Not making me happy. What's the deal? Bear with me. I think I may figure it out. It's just got to be a little dramatic. Sometimes you just got to have a little drama, right? If it's not dramatic, just got to be a little dramatic. That's all. Got to have a little drama. All right, let's see how this works. All right, so where are we now? I don't know what. I think I'm at the 5-minute mark. So if you're watching the replay and you're now at the 5-minute mark, keep skipping forward because we haven't figured out what the breakdown is yet. I'm waiting for a couple of folks to join here now. I see a couple of folks pop in here. I think we're finally back the way we should be. I'm going to see you in just a moment because someone's going to say hi to me in a minute. Someone's going to say hi. Someone's going to say hello. And that's how I know we did it and it didn't break. So we're testing. I see some numbers go up, so I know somebody's showing up. Camelia's here. Score. All right, so it is now at the 6:05 mark where we finally figured out the tech stuff. So we're now here. Everybody's made it. We're alive. So if you're watching the replay, you just locked in. Good for you. If you're live, you just joined. You've missed nothing. So the last 6 minutes was just kind of like for extra. Those are outtakes. You can go back in the last 6 minutes and enjoy Alzay talking to himself. So what are we doing here today, right? What are we doing? What's the point? Facebook group, Marketing Leaders Lab. I care about you as the leader of your business and what's required for you to run your business. And there are 3 core systems needed: client acquisition, client service, and client retention. And those things should be specifically spelled out. Yes, you sell marketing services, and there's all kind of marketing things you could get into, but you need those systems clear in your business if you're going to move forward. Client acquisition, we focus on LinkedIn, and I want to talk about LinkedIn today a lot. For client service, we focus on a productized service. Not today, but there's lots of other content that I have that talks about productized services. And then there's client retention, which is some form of retainer offer that you use going forward. Those 3 systems keep cash in your business. They keep the momentum growing in your business. When you stop doing those things, that's when things start to break down. So, all right. So I'm making a note here, right? 6:05 is when the technology started working. All right, that's a technical note. All right, let's get to work here, folks. Let's talk about LinkedIn. So I posted in the group the other day about LinkedIn. I said, what are your concerns about using LinkedIn as a client acquisition tool? What are you concerned about using LinkedIn at all? And a number of good questions came up. A number of good content came up. I want to address that conversation. Let's set this up. So a warning about today's video. If you're looking for the magic secret 4-step LinkedIn success plan, that's not happening today. I'm not doing that right now. If that's what you want, I know that everybody wants some magical way of getting leads. That's valuable. Today, that's not happening. What I want to focus on today, first of all, LinkedIn only works well for you if it fits inside of a process. However you think about LinkedIn, it must fit inside of a process, of a series of steps. So if you don't think about LinkedIn sitting inside a process, it's not going to work for you. Many people go to blog post of the day, YouTube video of the day, and they try to Frankenstein a bunch of different types of processes. They borrow a little from him, a little from her, a little from him, a little from her, slam it together, and they call that their LinkedIn process. And then they get upset when no one wants to look at their Frankenstein methodology. What you need is something clean and efficient, that is easy for you to execute, that is easy for your clients or prospective clients, prospects to hear, and that requires more intention than just the secret magic thing of the day. I don't like communicating that way. So let's move on. So if you're, I'm telling you now, if you're looking for it, I'll say, give me the 4 things. Ain't no 4 things. Close out your browser. Move on with your day. All right. Today we're talking about how to think about LinkedIn in a way that's most valuable to you and those you serve. Big thing number 2 here, the pros and cons of LinkedIn. Why do we even discuss LinkedIn in the first place? LinkedIn is a platform for business professionals. That's what it's for. And it is the best of breed. It is the number one platform for business professionals. So that's why we've been talking about it. You sell B2B services. You sell services to businesses. Businesses are on LinkedIn. It just makes sense for you to also be on LinkedIn. There's that. Second is that LinkedIn, warning, there's a con here. LinkedIn is a social media platform. So if you're not careful, it can just suck up your time. It's just something that you do, and I'm on LinkedIn, I guess, and it wastes your time. I don't want you to waste your time. Success on LinkedIn begins with your profile. So before we even talk about how to use LinkedIn 19 different ways, look at your own profile. Does your profile represent you as a business? Does it represent your business? And for many people, it simply doesn't. It's this big mashup of your entire professional life. And that's not focused enough to resonate with someone else. So there's a very simple sanity check for yourself. Look at your own profile, because your success is going to begin with the quality of your profile. Begin with your profile. Does it even represent you? If you, bottom line here, if you don't work LinkedIn, LinkedIn won't work for you. So again, LinkedIn fits in a process. There's a way you got to think about LinkedIn. There's a way you got to use LinkedIn. And I'm telling you right now, you have to work LinkedIn. And if you don't want to work LinkedIn, LinkedIn's not going to work for you. No silver bullets here. So if what I just said offends you because you don't want to have more work to do, close out your browser, move along. I'm not offended. I understand that there's always an expert of the day that is encouraging you to adopt the new social media platform. XYZ platform is Twitter is hot. You got to be on Twitter. YouTube is hot. You got to be on YouTube. Whatever. Facebook is hot. Got to be on Facebook. You got to do this. You got to do that. There's always some expert of the day encouraging you to use the latest social media thing of the day. In this piece of content, I am not encouraging you to use the social media thing of the day. I'm suggesting that you consider LinkedIn as an asset for your business. It is a strategic, deliberate, value-creating asset for your business. And if you're interested in building that kind of asset, you're in the right place. But this is not an encouragement to be on LinkedIn because it's cool or clever or because there's some hot opportunity. I'm interested in helping you create an efficient asset, a client acquisition asset. Sounds good? In the right place. Let's keep running. So big thing number 3 now. So in number 3. All right, Shelby. All right, so I'm glad to have you. So Shelby says, I'm glad you're discussing LinkedIn. Yep, we're doing it. We're here. Glad to have you, Shelby. All right, number three thing here. And so now, as I move now, I'm talking about these specific questions that were posted in the Facebook group. So now we're addressing those and thinking about those more strategically. So number 3, which was the first question. Number 3. What if I find my target client on LinkedIn and they're not active? So that concern is I'm okay with using LinkedIn, but I realize that LinkedIn is not as aggressively used as Facebook or maybe even Twitter. So I've heard that people don't check their LinkedIn profiles. Okay. Direct response. Number 1, that's why LinkedIn fits in a process. Because we're not counting on one particular profile or one particular outreach or one particular person that you've connected with to be like your winning sale, your winning client, and all things are good. We're not counting on that. We're counting on the process to produce results for us. We're counting on your method, your methodology to produce results for you. So we're not counting on one profile or not being active or not. That thinking will have you stressed. The second part of that thought is it's a statement really. Many people have LinkedIn notifications tied to their email. So even though someone may not literally log into LinkedIn every single day and use it like Facebook, many people have notifications via their email. So when you send somebody a note inside of LinkedIn, what they receive on their end is an email in their inbox. So they get that email, they can click reply inside that email and then get into LinkedIn. So again, they get there. So there's plenty of people who use it differently than how you may think. People log into Facebook every single day and play around in Facebook for hours. But LinkedIn, people often get an email. So even if you think, because you might be wrong, even if you think that your target profile doesn't use LinkedIn often, there are still very relevant ways of connecting with people via the platform. So there's that. Moving on here. So now I'm in agenda item number 4. So there's this thing about spam in LinkedIn. LinkedIn kind of gets a rap for having spam. So how do I begin a real conversation on LinkedIn, right? I want to have real conversations. How do I have a real conversation on LinkedIn and not be seen as a spammer? How do I avoid all the spam so that I can have good conversations? Okay. It is true that many people use LinkedIn in a very weird way. There's a lot of weird, awkward, give me your money right now kinds of ways that people use LinkedIn. And yes, they're using it wrong. What I know, because I'm using LinkedIn in my business, so this is live for my business as well. The responses I get to people are genuine and sincere. The responses I get from people are really appreciative about the fact that I've reached out or that I've sent some content. They actually enjoy engaging with me on LinkedIn. And it's not because my name is Alzay and I'm somebody cool or clever or special. It's not because, it's because I use LinkedIn. I communicate on LinkedIn in a very precise, deliberate way, which cuts through all that spam stuff, which cuts through. This guy's not a spammer. This guy's real. This is a real person who runs a real business, who might be able to help me. That's the way my strategy works. And I get those kinds of responses. So yes, there are spammers, but there's a way that you can communicate and push through that quote unquote spam so that you can have more relevant conversations. By the way, while I'm flowing through these questions, if you got a question, a comment, or a thought, if you've got something to say, whatever it is, while I'm doing what I'm doing, please post that in the comment box, and then we'll work that out as we go. So, all right, number five. So that next question was, how do I get clients? Right, like that's the bottom line. How do I get clients? In fact, there's a note here. The note was from the Facebook group. So how do you go about landing clients? I'm about to test something new, designing people's front page beforehand and presenting that as an idea. Have you ever tried that? In other words, I want to know how to get clients. I'm going to reach out in this certain way. Has anybody tried reaching out in that certain way? So the big idea is, how do you get clients? Let's talk about that for a second. On the LinkedIn platform, let's put it in steps. You connect with someone that you probably don't know. You connect with someone. You engage with someone in a relevant way. They choose to speak with you on the phone about their issue. And if appropriate, they become a client. You connect with someone. You engage in a relevant way. They choose to be on the phone with you to discuss their issue more deeply. They become a client. In its simplest, that is how LinkedIn can work to create new clients. Now, we all know in practicality, there's some nuances at every step. It doesn't always work out that cleanly, right? There's no magic bullets. It doesn't always work out that cleanly. But that is the process. That's the base process for how you get clients on LinkedIn. The question is, are you communicating deliberately enough to move people down that process? For most people, the answer is no. For most people, you're not communicating deliberately enough. You're not communicating honestly enough. You're not communicating directly enough so that someone would be excited about connecting with you, so that someone would actually want to interact with you, so that someone would actually want to get on the phone with you, that somebody would actually want to become a client of yours. There's a way that you've got to communicate to make that happen. And just simply raising your hand and saying, I do web design, or I write content, or I do ads, or, I'm a digital marketing specialist, or whatever, won't get it done. So there's not only sequencing, but there's intentionality in how you message. And it's a thing That's a thing. So getting clients on LinkedIn is not about pressing some button and money flies out of the computer. Nope. Getting clients on LinkedIn is about having to actually interact. They call this social selling. This is about social selling. And so you've got to be social, and you got to sell through a social platform. And people are excited to interact with real experts. They're excited to interact about things they could buy, but it requires some intentionality on your behalf. And most people don't even know what I just described. That kind of step by step, most folks don't even appreciate that. They just kind of think that they just connect and get money. Nope. All right, so moving on. So the next, right? We're at number 6, right? So how does LinkedIn compare to cold emails? So if right now you run an agency, right? And there's a lot of ways to get clients, a lot of strategies out there. And for agencies, cold email is one of those options, one of the things that you think about. I've done cold email. I've done cold email for real. I've done cold email in one-on-one, sending video proposals kind of way. I've done cold email that way. I've done cold email scaled, where I've sent out hundreds a month, thousands of emails a month, et cetera, et cetera. So I'm sure there are folks who've done it longer than me or whatever, but I have real experience with cold email. What I have found is that LinkedIn is easier to execute. Cold email sounds and looks easy, and then when you begin to do it, there's some infrastructure you have to support cold email that is not obvious up front, but I won't discuss that right now. About LinkedIn in particular, LinkedIn is easier because LinkedIn is designed to be a place where you can have conversations. It's designed. That's what the people who build and design and code the LinkedIn software, that's the tool that they've created. It's designed to give people like you and me a chance to actually have dialogue. So it's easier than email in the sense that email, no one's ready to dialogue with you. But on LinkedIn, they are ready to dialogue with you. And that becomes a core strategic difference. There's many details you can discuss underneath that, but I find that LinkedIn is easier to execute, again, because the platform is designed to facilitate conversations. So in that way, it plays to your advantage. Next question. So now we're at number 7, right? Item number 7, agenda item number 7. Question number whatever. Should I be publishing content on LinkedIn? So one of LinkedIn's latest push, a late push for LinkedIn, a recent push for LinkedIn is, hey, this LinkedIn Pulse platform of ours exists, and you can publish content on LinkedIn Pulse. LinkedIn articles, and we can talk more about that, whatever, details. What you need to care most about is how to leverage LinkedIn in a way to get clients. I believe that should be your focus. How do I leverage LinkedIn in a way to get clients? And I would submit to you that publishing content on LinkedIn is an extra step. It is not a step that you should be worried about right now. Is there value in creating content on LinkedIn? Yes, there is. Alzay, do you have content on LinkedIn? Yes, I do. But for the effort of acquiring clients and where you should think about focusing, I don't recommend that you focus on creating a bunch of content. I think you'll find it to be a distraction. I think you'll find it to be not as strategic as it sounds. You'll find it to be a task to complete. Now, if you just love creating content and it just gets your juices flowing, then create some content then. But it is, a minute ago, I just gave you the outline on how to think about getting new clients, and simply publishing content on LinkedIn won't get you there. It helps, but it doesn't get you there. All right. It's a secondary thing to consider. All right, cool. Is that right? So Emily just let me know that the people watching in Marketing Leaders Lab can't see these comments. Oh boy. So I told you I was trying something technology-wise today, and I think I broke it. I think I've sufficiently broke it. So I'll continue with the comment. I gotta go back and go find comments later, I guess. Yeah, Alzay broke it today. Okay, we're live. This is what happens. Let us continue. Okay. Interesting. All right. So, okay. So what I did, so sidebar, right? Sidebar. We're breaking from the LinkedIn content. Sidebar. What happened? In an effort to get more distribution on these Facebook Lives, I tried to broadcast this Facebook Live, broadcast it on my Facebook page, and then share that broadcast in my Facebook group. That's typically what I do. I'm sorry, that's what I did this time. Normally, I broadcast this directly from my Facebook group. This time, I tried to broadcast it from my Facebook page and share it in the group. And that has created technology things that are happening right now. I thought I had solved for this. I hadn't. So there's a link where you can click the page, and I have a link to my page. I think I do. The Facebook page is called Coveted Consultant. So if you are watching this live and you can't see the comments and we've got that thing going on, Coveted Consultant is the Facebook page. Help, click over there and then we can see the comments. Got to figure it out. I'm live. All right. So I don't want that to distract the value of the content here. I'll stay focused, and I got to pick up the comments later. Okay, so then I'm at number 8. I'm at number 8 here. Agenda item number 8. What if I push too hard and lose followers? So what if I'm on LinkedIn, I got my thing going, right? I'm working LinkedIn, and I sell things, clearly. I sell things. So what if I push too hard on the platform and I start losing followers? Short responses here. Number 1, we don't do this for followers. You are not in your business to get followers. Followers don't pay bills. Followers don't sign up for services. Followers don't create revenue. You're not in this thing for followers. That's not why you're in this game. Now, if you're a Fortune 500 company, if somebody from Coke or Pepsi or FedEx is listening to this, maybe they're in the followers game. But for the folks that the core hardcore community listening to this, you are not in the followers game. So you don't do what you do for followers. Followers, whatever. You're in the business of solving problems for your clients. And so that is the core messaging that you should own. That is the way you should speak. That is, and you got to be comfortable with those people who are uncomfortable with that idea. So you're not in the business, to be very, very clear, you're not in the business of selling things to people. That turns people off. Always pushing a thing to be sold, that turns people off. But if you are clear about your intentions of aggressively solving the problems of your clients, that's attractive. We solve problems in our agency. We solve problems in our business. I'm trying to help you solve your problem if you've got a problem. But I'm assuming that you're connected to me because you've got some kind of problem and you want it fixed. Communicating in that way is attractive. Now, you won't deliver it that way every time. Some of that is my personal delivery. You have your own. You don't always deliver everything with flashing lights and shining colors. We know that practically. But this concern about people being turned off with your communication, you got to be okay with that. Everybody's not gonna like what you create and what you produce and all that kind of good stuff. But you got to be sure that what you are communicating about is in the bullseye, is right where you want to be communicating. Got to think about that. That's not, you don't just pull it out of the sky. Your bullseye communication requires some thoughtfulness. You got to think about it. All right, what else we got? All right, Emily's tracking. So, Emily, we're at number 9. So, number 9 is, what if someone calls me out publicly? This is real. I remember having this concern. I remember, well, if I start creating content, making videos, being more aggressive with my profile work, if I start really talking about this stuff, what if I make a mistake? What if I say something wrong? What if someone disagrees? What if someone who knows better, calls me out? What do I do? Right? Okay. That's a practical concern. I remember having that concern personally as I began to more aggressively market my own business. I remember having that concern. That's a real concern. Here's the shortest, most efficient response I can give you. Talk about what you know about. Only talk about what you know about. If you don't know about something, don't talk about it. If you don't know about something, don't feel the pressure of having to talk about it. If you're talking about what you know about and it requires something that you feel less confident in or less confident about, say that. Hey, I know about this part. This part I know about. Now, it involves this, and I don't know that part as well, but here's my general understanding. Talk about what you know about. What catches a lot of marketing people in trouble, those who sell marketing services, is there's this pressure to know everything about marketing. And as we've talked about in a number of content pieces, digital marketing changes way too fast in order for you to be able to keep up with everything. You can't know everything about there is to know about marketing. About digital marketing, for sure, it changes too fast. You can't know all there is to know about anything. There's always something more to learn. Frankly, practically, seriously, honestly, there's always more to learn. So do not put yourself forward as if you know everything. Don't accept that moniker. Don't accept that description. Said even to say more about that. You can be a legitimate expert and not know everything. You can be a legitimate expert and still be honest about what you don't know. I consider myself an expert, myself personally, an expert in specific things. But all the time, I tell you about what I don't know. All the time, I tell you about, I'm making mistakes right now. You're watching me. You've watched me deal with this broken Facebook Live process of mine. Right? I don't know about this. I'm learning it live as it's happening. You got to be okay with that. You've got to be okay with that level of humility, what you do and what you don't know. This is a big deal. And it catches a lot of marketing people up in trouble because you get in front of people and they ask you marketing questions and you think you're supposed to have an answer and you start flying off with stuff that you know is not in your wheelhouse. And you've got to have more discipline than that. You've got to be more professional than that. You've got to be okay saying, this is the part that I understand. That's the part that I don't understand. That's a big deal. It gets a lot of marketing people in trouble. You know what it also does while I'm in the mode of this? You know what it also does? It keeps you out of your excellence. So because you think you have to know everything, you no longer focus on what you know you know. Now you're adding this thing and that thing and this thing and that thing and this thing, and you add major scope creep. You add all this other scope to your business. I don't even, what do you call it, business creep? I don't even know what you call that. But all these other ideas end up inside your business because you think you have to know about those too. You should talk about what you know about. Moving on. So this next statement, so I'm at number 11. This statement is from a client that's currently in the program, but he was honest, and I appreciate his honesty. He said, listen, I'm new to LinkedIn. It's out of my comfort zone, and I just don't feel as confident in this platform doing LinkedIn stuff as I might do with other stuff. And the whole thing just makes me nervous. Like the whole thing. I'm very aware that I'm outside of what I normally do, and the whole deal just makes me nervous. And what that turns into is a big stop sign inside your business, right? You realize that, yeah, there are folks on LinkedIn, and yes, I could use it in a way that could help my business, but I don't know how to use it. The idea of using it makes me uncomfortable, and so I don't. And so the opportunity that is LinkedIn passes you by because you put this big stop sign up. Okay. Again, Kenny, who asked this question, is in the program. We're going to resolve this for Kenny specifically because that's what the program is designed to do. But for those who aren't in the program, how do we think about that? Well, first, a big one is talk about what you know about. That's a big one. So if I'm on LinkedIn, I'm only going to talk about what I know about. I'm not going to put myself in a weird, compromising situation. Okay. Here's a bigger idea that I should have said this up front, but I'm saying it now. You need a client acquisition in your business that you're committed to. You need a client acquisition method in your business that you're committed to. If you do not have a client acquisition method, you will die. Now, we could talk about this and debate about this and discuss it 100 times and bring in 45 experts. If you don't have a client acquisition method in your business that you trust, you will die. So figure it out. Do something that you consistently do in the world of client acquisition, or except pending death. I recommend that LinkedIn be a place where you focus because of what we've already discussed. It's designed for people like us to have success. So I recommend that LinkedIn be a place where you focus. And in focusing in this place, you're going to have to learn, understand, and appreciate how LinkedIn works. So I acknowledge that LinkedIn at this moment may not be clearly understood by you. Parts of it might be a little over your head. Parts of it you might think to be unnecessary. Parts of it might be overly complex or maybe overly simple. I understand that for where you stand at this moment, LinkedIn may kind of be like, I'm not sure. I'm recommending LinkedIn to you because it fits in the gap of client acquisition. You don't have a formal, structured client acquisition method inside your business. What should you do? I'm saying do LinkedIn. And so in committing to LinkedIn, we got to figure out how LinkedIn works. In committing to LinkedIn, we've got to develop a LinkedIn process that works for you. And so in doing it more often, you'll get more comfortable and therefore you'll see more results. But I understand, like Kenny has clearly said, I understand that this is disconcerting. This is uncomfortable. And I don't know how I feel about that. Well, Kenny's inside the program. So we're gonna work on this and getting him comfortable and laying out the appropriate process so that he can, in fact, get value from LinkedIn. We're gonna figure this out. But your commitment, if you're not in the program right now, your commitment is to first say and acknowledge that I don't have a client acquisition process that I trust. I'm just winging it. I'm just doing stuff, and I'm kind of hoping it all works. I need a process that I can trust. And it makes sense to me that LinkedIn is a place where I can get this problem solved, that LinkedIn gives me a place and a space to attract new business the way that I want. So then let me figure out LinkedIn so that I can make it work. And if that math just happened in your mind, we should be in conversation. You and I should be in conversation. I have a program that's designed to help you leverage LinkedIn in order to sell, leverage LinkedIn to satisfy client acquisition, use productized services to eliminate scope creep and lock down scope of services, and then help you segue from productized service into long-term retainer offers. That's what the program is designed to do. And if you want to talk about that and make that work, then there's a link you can click to get some training. The training will walk you through how the whole process works so that you can decide if you and I should be in conversation. So there you have it. So there's a if this resonates with you, there's a next step you can take so that you can get the problem resolved. So Ronell, I'm assuming it's Ronell and not Ronell. Ronell. Help me. Mr. Cross. Mr. Cross says, what do you think about LinkedIn Sales Navigator? Good look or waste of money? LinkedIn Sales Navigator is a good look. I believe that if in the way that we're talking about using LinkedIn right now, Sales Navigator is mandatory. You can try. You can try to leverage LinkedIn in 100 different free ways and try to, I guess, but it just ends up being more heavy lifting than it's trying to make the free act like the paid. Pay the premium monthly fee, get to work, get your clients, move on. That's the way I think about it. And LinkedIn Sales Navigator becomes a cornerstone. It becomes a very valuable piece of how to leverage LinkedIn well and successfully. Cool. Thanks, Mr. Cross, for asking that question. Okay. So wrapping it up. Right. So wrapping up today, I want to end where I started. If you were looking for the 4-step, 5-step magical process on how to use LinkedIn, let me give you my 4-step process for leveraging LinkedIn. Not today. Not doing that today. There are a lot of processes, step-by-step whatevers that are already out there. You probably have seen them before. And they look so easy to execute. Then you start to use them and they fall apart and you get mad and you move on to something else. The reason why I made this video this way was to talk about reasons why that process doesn't work, where it breaks down, how you've got to be thinking so that the process can work for you. There's a way you got to approach LinkedIn so you can get the greatest value. And as we talk today, there's some things that are in your mind that are serving as big stop signs that are keeping you from leveraging an otherwise very potent opportunity. I believe that I failed you if I haven't said this to you directly. If I'm not telling you what you have to do in order to make LinkedIn work, if I'm not telling you that, then I'm just somebody else selling some magic secret 4-step process. There's some thoughtfulness required. There's some strategy required. There's some discipline required. And if you're okay with that, if you're committed to that, then LinkedIn can be a real avenue for you. But if you're in a hurry all the freaking time and you want to push through and power through everything, you want to hustle through everything, it's going to frustrate you. So that's why today's content was shaped the way that it's shaped. LinkedIn is a place where there is opportunity, but it can be a distraction. Social media, it's social media. It can be a huge distraction. You got to get your profile right. So you got to be honest about your profile and look at it and go, am I even doing this part right? Like, am I even putting myself forward the right way? It's more complex and more strategic, more thoughtful than it looks to get those things right. And I'm not trying to encourage you to leverage some other piece of social media. I'm trying to help you. My goodness. I'm trying to help you get some value back from social media, not just spend more time on social media. Huh? Goodness gracious. All right. So, cool beans. All right. I'm going to try. There's a question that was submitted by Arthur. Do I have that? I need to look that up. So I'm going to try. I'm going to look through here and see, because technology has not gone the way I wanted it to today. And so I got to look through a couple of different places to see if I see any questions or comments that may have come through that I wasn't able to pick up today. And I'm doing that as effectively as I can. All right. So far, so good. One question that thank you, Emily. Emily's filled in. So David asks, I notice you post content on LinkedIn regularly. So I try to learn from the master. He's being nice. I started doing it too. The idea is to get some dialogue going, right? I mean, yeah. What else are we doing? So yes, I post on LinkedIn regularly. Why do I do that? David's asking, is that to get some dialogue going? You bet. I mean, what else are we doing, right? What else are we doing, right? So I talk about problems that affect my client base, and for those who are interested in having that dialogue, we reach out. That's what it's for. But it requires some strategy. It's harder than it looks, man. It's harder than it looks. Emily will tell you. Emily helps me with how I manage LinkedIn. It's a thing. It's not. It looks easy, but whatever. It's a thing. It's really a thing. All right, cool. I'm looking through. Good to go there. There was a question again. Arthur sent in a question, and Arthur said, Alzay, you made some content a while back about comparing full service agencies. So I had this personal philosophy about full service agencies. I don't like it. I think the idea of being a full service agency is an evil concept. I think it leads to bloated businesses. I think it's incredibly distracting. I think it's unprofitable. I think it's a bad idea. Do not be a full service agency. All right, cool. Why? Very quickly. I compare a full service agency to being like Walmart, a big shopping center, to a niche or productized agency, which is more like a boutique shop. So if you're shopping and you want a very specific premium item, where do you go? You go to the boutique shop. If you're looking for a premium solution, a premium item, you don't go to Walmart. You go to Walmart to buy as much stuff as you can for the least amount of money possible. It's a discount place. That's what it's designed to be, is a discount place. Do you want your business to be a discount place? You're having trouble with that now, right? Not being paid enough for what you do, all that kind of stuff. So accept the challenge of being more focused and accept the challenge of being a boutique, so to speak. And that boutique is about productizing. So there's that. Okay. So I'm reading Arthur's follow-up, which is more in depth than I thought. Um, okay. So really Arthur is asking, so Alzay, if I'm on board with the whole productized versus full service. I want to be productized and not be full service. I get the analogy. I'm on board with that. How do I attract clients to these productized offerings? Because and I'm going to fill in for, I think, an assumption Arthur's making. There's this assumption that if I offer more things, I'll attract more clients. That's the assumption. If I offer more services, I attract more clients. Full service is better because I can offer more things. Okay. We all know the pain of trying to be full service, so we don't do that. If you become boutique, if you become productized, what happens, Arthur and everybody else? What happens is you are in the process of becoming boutique, productized. You are admitting where your services fit best. You're admitting we can't sell all that other stuff. We don't do all that other stuff well. I'm just going to admit that we are the best at doing this. I'm just going to admit that we do this really, really well. Then you get to ask, who really needs this? Who really needs the thing that we do? Who really benefits from that? What problem does that solve? Who has a problem for which our thing can really be helpful to them? Only when you productize, only when you decide to be boutique, does that question really become necessary and powerful. And then what happens is, when you answer that question, oh, I got it. This thing that we do is a solution for those people. You got to be in this situation in order to appreciate what we do. And the moment that light bulb goes off, now you know where to put your services. Now you know where to put your business. Now you know where to go to attract the right kinds of people. But when you sell 45 other things, you're trying to figure out who wants 45 different things. And that is so hard, isn't it? It's so hard to be like Walmart. Walmart is such a huge monstrosity of a business. And shaping your business like Walmart, wow. So that's the best response I can give you right now, Arthur. I know I could probably talk a whole lot more about that. But it's when you decide to productize and you really embrace the idea of productizing, other strategic things become, they kind of lock themselves in place. People in the program now are experiencing that. When they finally get their head around, I got it. I'm gonna commit to this. I'm gonna admit I do this well. I'm gonna commit to this. Who needs that? They do. Like, that's what ends up happening. But you see that this whole moment, you got to commit to that moment. You got to be okay with sitting down and focusing on that. The program's designed to help you do that. It's a thing. I wish I could tell you it was magic. It's not. It's a thing. You got to commit to it. All right. What else? What else we got? Marion, you're welcome. So Marion saying thank you for showing up, for just kind of doing this all the time. Yeah. So far, so good. I'm getting value from it. You're getting value from it. We keep doing it. When either side changes, we stop doing it. If it stops being valuable for me or valuable for you, we quit it. All right. Is there anything else? Any other questions or what have you? If in today's work, in today's effort for the Facebook Live, if I've missed a question, I will absolutely go back and address it one way or another. What else do we have? Emily, help me out. If you can see both sides and post that last question for me, I will hang on just this last moment here. And we'll do better. We'll do even better next time. All right. What we got? I'm checking questions is what I'm doing here. All right, cool. So far, so good. I'm looking for anything else. Ahmed's giving me a thumbs up. So he's good. Okay, folks, I think we're solid. Hey, I appreciate you making time to be on these lives. I appreciate you for watching the replays. If you watch the replays, Emily. Well, so Jack has a question. Emily, on behalf of Jack. Emily's posting Jack's question. So how can LinkedIn soak up your time? Jack, I think you know the answer to that already. And I bet that there are people right now who are rolling their eyes as I read that question out loud. I bet that there's more than one person right now who went, oh my God, who already knows how LinkedIn can soak up your time. By the way, Emily, if anybody else posts anything else, just give me the rapid fire and then we'll address them and close out. Okay. So just post it on their behalf for right now. And then we'll get closed out. How can LinkedIn soak up your time? So for one, LinkedIn as a platform allows you to do a number of things. You could message and connect and in-mail and publish content and like and respond and share and comment and be involved in groups and whatever else I'm not thinking about right now. There's all kinds of things, ways that LinkedIn asks you to engage with the software. And because all the experts of the day encourage you to do all of those things, then there you are, liking, sharing, commenting, posting, and you're just kind of working through the checklist that some expert offers you. And it's not a bad thing necessarily to be engaged on LinkedIn, but client acquisition, client service, client retention. Are your activities of the day moving those three goals forward? If they are, keep doing them. If they're not, stop them. And so that's what I am flashing lights about. There are a lot of things you can do on social media that do not move either one of those three things forward. It's just busy work. You've just given yourself busy work. I think I've said enough. If you know that if that's you or not. Jack, if LinkedIn for you is not pinching on your time, if it's not causing you friction, well, then you're good to go. You're good to go. But I know there are a lot of people for which social media, LinkedIn, for example, is just a time suck. It's not producing return on their time. And I that makes me nuts. That makes me nuts. Okay. I think we're good. Hey, Nelson, I see you. I see you here. There's a replay here somewhere. I'll make sure folks can get it. Thank you again for your time today. I'm wrapping up. See you in the next one. Wait, Ron, Mr. Cross asks, does the LinkedIn, y'all are getting me with these last minute questions. Does the program cover LinkedIn ads? No, it does not. So in the program, we talk about how to reach out to people directly, have interaction directly, encourage that interaction to become a conversation on the phone, and how to turn that phone conversation into a client. We don't talk about LinkedIn ads in the program. Most folks don't need LinkedIn ads. Maybe you do, Ronell. Maybe you do, but most folks at this point do not. They need a base level, profitable way of using LinkedIn, and that, I'm trying to give folks those hardcore fundamentals. LinkedIn ads can be a bit sounds good. It can be harder than it sounds. All right, now I'm shutting down. No matter what somebody posts in the comments. I appreciate y'all. I'll see you in the next one. Talk to you soon.